Shalom, everyone. Well, the rains are gone. It's a little bit chilly. Things in my sukkah have dried out. I've had to put buckets and balls, soccer balls and basketballs, to lift up the tarp between the rafters so as to allow the rainwater to just kind of, to wash off and not collect in these big pools between the rafters. But I just want to tell you some things that God has challenged me on this Sukkot. As we look at a sukkah, as we sit in a sukkah, we realize it's just the bare bone basics. You know, it's a skeletal structure with branches or tarps or whatever, closed around it. It's just like the bare minimum of living. And I began to think about my life and how complicated I've made my life. I mean, it's nobody's fault but my own. Technology's good. I'm not trying to knock technology. I'm using it right now to communicate to all of you. I'm not trying to knock entertainment. But sometimes these things can so sneakily and stealthily jockey such a position in our lives that they take the place of God or come before God, and we don't even realize it. We don't even know it. And of course, if somebody asks us point blank, well, no, God's first, Yeshua's first, His word is first. But I found myself, whenever I'm bored, that Facebook is my go-to. Oh, let's see what's going on. Let's see what's up. And most of the time, it's just a bunch of kvetching and complaining and conspiracy theories, and it's stuff that really kind of bums you out and doesn't really edify you anyway. And I found myself going to that. I began to think about my Twitter account and my Instagram account and who I'm following. And there's a bunch of movie stars and comic book stuff and everything that I was following. And I really don't pay attention to it. Really don't look at it. And when I get on Instagram, a lot of the pictures are just a bunch of distractions, and some of them are redundant. Some of the ones that I subscribe to post the same pictures, and I really got convicted of how much this was really taking up my life. And like last night when I was journaling, I was thinking that, this past year, the Lord has delivered me and freed me from a lot of stuff physically, a lot of the physical ailments and a lot of the physical things that I've been dealing with. And of course, that's been a plus because it's helped my mental outlook and my mental aspect on things. But spiritually, I feel like I've just kind of stayed where I am, where I'm kind of stagnating, that I'm walking along and I feel like I feel like I've got sand or oil in my shoes that's weighing me down, and I'm just trudging and along, and my creative spark is just kind of gone. It's a very dim ember. And I started thinking, when in my life was I most on fire for God? When in my life was I most creative? And I have to say, it was kind of like when I was back in Bible college and when I was first married. And then I asked myself, well, what was different? I'll tell you what was different. I didn't have the access to media that I have now. In Bible college, we were just allowed to watch sports in the news, and that was it. And I could care less about sports. And, the news, I just kind of heard it on the radio, like when I was cleaning or whatever, or working. So I didn't really watch a lot of TV or anything like that. And I listened to a lot of music, and I noticed I don't listen to music as much as I used to, because I used to listen to music in my car all the time. And I don't drive my car as much. And it was towards the end of college and a few years after I got married, I got really disillusioned with the Christian music industry because I used to work in it, selling retail and merchandise at a local Christian bookstore. So I really got to see the seedy underbelly of that industry. And I kind of got disillusioned where it was going. And I just kind of, slowly, it just didn't have much of a part in my life anymore. And I noticed that music really helped me be creative. And I thought to myself, I got to declutter my life. I've got to get back like the sukkah, the bare bone basics of a sukkah, skeletal structure and something to cover it. That's really all I need. I don't need anything more. I don't need anything else. And again, I'm not knocking entertainment, and I'm not knocking technology. It's got its proper place at the proper time, but sometimes it could just sneak into such a position where it takes preeminence, and you don't even realize it. And that's the way it was with me. And I mean, for a geek like me, sci-fi and superheroes, this is one of the greatest times in the world to live. Um, I've been watching Gotham, I've been watching The Flash, I've been watching Arrow. I've been keeping track of when the Superman and Batman: Dawn of Justice is going to come out, and the Star Wars 7, and all this kind of stuff. And I really started noticing how much it was a part of my life, and I really got convicted. I mean, I want Hashem, I want God, I want His Word, I want His Messiah to be first and foremost in my life in every way, shape, or form. And I made a decision. I want my creative spark back. I want that inspiration back. I want that fire and fervor back in my life again. And so, I'm telling you, I'm walking away from those TV shows. Not saying that I'm leaving forever. Not saying that you shouldn't watch them. But they've kind of taken control of my life in a way. So I'm walking away for a time. And I'm going to find ways of putting music back into my life. I used to draw. I used to write poetry every single day. I used to write little one-frame comics all the time. And I don't really do that anymore. And that's when I was really on fire for Hashem. So the last few days I've been feeling kind of aimless, kind of purposeless. And that's what God brought to my attention. And I'm taking it seriously. So maybe this is striking a chord with somebody out there. Maybe this is really speaking to somebody out there. But I challenge you to evaluate your life and evaluate the things in your life. Do you need to declutter? Do you need to get back to the Sukkah of your life and to get back to the bare bone basics where it's just you and God and where you can have a deep, free, more intimate relationship with Him and His Word and the Messiah? I'm excited. I mean, I don't know for sure where this journey has taken me or how far I'm going to go, but I've spent the year working on my physical and mental well-being, and I've kind of worked on my spiritual the whole time. But it's just been a constant. It's just kind of plateaued, and it's time to notch it up and take it to the next level. So, social media, entertainment. Look, you got to take a back seat. We had a good run. We had fun. Not saying goodbye forever, but you know what? You're not a priority in my life anymore. You're taking a back seat. Hashem is taking the controls again. He's taking the con, if you will, the pilot's chair, and all this entertainment, all this other peripheral stuff, social media. You're taking a back seat. I'll see you when I see you. You're not going to consume and control my life anymore. Anyways, thanks for listening to my ramblings. Love you guys. Shalom. Shavua Tov. Chag Sameach. Sukkot.